Most people assume that those who are shy or introverted have a harder time connecting with others. However, research suggests that understanding the unique qualities of quiet people can help everyone get along and appreciate each other better. Quiet individuals typically possess certain psychological traits that can lead to positive outcomes in various settings, including work, school, and relationships. Here are some interesting psychological facts about quiet people. Firstly, quiet people tend to be good listeners. They generally don't rush to dominate conversations and instead take the time to really absorb what is being said. This makes them ideal colleagues when collaborating on projects or brainstorming ideas, as they pay close attention to details and offer helpful insights. Additionally, they make great friends because they fully understand the importance of listening without judgment, offering advice and moral support when needed. Secondly, quiet people have the ability to remain calm in stressful situations. They don't get worked up easily and instead take a step back to assess their options before taking action. This can be incredibly beneficial for solving complex problems at work or home, as they are able to think critically and make decisions that prioritize the best interests of everyone involved. Thirdly, quiet people often possess excellent problem-solving skills due to their analytical nature. They are more likely to analyze a situation from different angles before acting on it, which can lead to innovative solutions that may not have been considered otherwise. Furthermore, they naturally tend to pay close attention to details so they can spot patterns and connections that could offer valuable insights. For example, they may identify the root cause of a problem and come up with potential solutions that might solve the issue without needing to resort to drastic measures. Fourthly, quiet people are often excellent listeners, which can be incredibly beneficial for any relationship or organization. They tend to take the time to listen intently to what others have to say, process the information carefully, and provide thoughtful responses rather than simply offering a quick reaction. This allows them to build positive relationships by fostering meaningful conversations and gaining a deeper understanding of their peers' perspectives and feelings. Fifthly, many introverted individuals are creative thinkers who can think outside of the box when it comes to solving problems. They often possess unique insights that can lead to innovative solutions due to their ability to think more deeply than their extroverted counterparts. In addition, introverts are usually comfortable with being alone and don't need constant stimulation or companionship in order to enjoy life. They are content with spending time by themselves and tend to appreciate solitude as a way of recharging. As a result, they often experience higher levels of concentration, focus, and mental clarity when they have some space away from others. When it comes to expressing emotions, quiet people may be better at controlling and managing them than extroverts because they are typically less influenced by outside forces. Introverts tend not to act on impulse but rather take the time to reflect before making decisions, which can lead to more effective problem solving. They are often able to notice hidden patterns and connections between things that others may miss. Quiet people tend to be more observant as they listen carefully and take in their surroundings more than an extrovert might. They have a tendency to think before they speak, allowing them time to consider the implications of what they're saying before giving an opinion or making a statement. This can be beneficial in social situations because it allows for deeper understanding of conversations between two or more individuals. When faced with conflict, quiet people usually prefer not to make waves or draw attention to themselves, so they may appear passive when dealing with confrontations. Although this can be viewed as being weak or submissive, it could also be interpreted as a sign of maturity and intelligence. This is because the person has chosen to take time to think through the situation before responding in an appropriate manner. It takes discipline and emotional control to not react impulsively, which is something many introverts are able to do. Quiet people are often misunderstood by those around them because they're perceived as aloof or disinterested, when in reality they're simply observing their surroundings and processing what's going on. Although some may think introverts lack confidence, this couldn't be further from the truth. In fact, quiet people tend to have high levels of self-esteem and trust themselves more than others. This gives them a sense of security and peace of mind. One interesting psychological fact about quiet people is that they are often more creative than their outgoing counterparts. Studies have found that introverts thrive in situations where they need to come up with new and innovative ideas. They also tend to be better problem solvers, as their innate ability for reflection and deep thinking give them the edge when it comes to finding solutions. Another psychological fact is that introverts may actually be less stressed than extroverts. It's been suggested that quiet people experience less stress because they don't feel the same social pressures as those who seek out external stimulation. Also, because introverts spend a lot of time alone, they don't face the same overwhelming demands of constant interaction as extroverts do. It's also been observed that introverts are more creative than extroverts. This is because they like to take the time to ponder and absorb information before expressing it, whereas their counterparts may be more impulsive with their ideas. As a result, introverted people tend to come up with original concepts that others may not have thought of. Some psychologists believe that introversion and extroversion are formed early in life, based on our experiences growing up. For example, if an individual grows up in a household where everyone is loud and outgoing, he or she may become accustomed to this energetic atmosphere and thus form an extrovert personality type. On the other hand, someone who has grown up in a household of introverts may have formed an introverted personality type. That said, introversion and extroversion can also change throughout life due to experiences or environment. For example, someone who was very shy as a child may become more outgoing and social when he or she enters college, surrounded by new people and opportunities to express themselves. Quiet people are often labeled as being shy because they don't always like to speak up in large groups. While it's true that some people are naturally more timid than others, quietness does not necessarily equate with shyness. In fact, some introverts are simply content observing from the sidelines rather than joining in on conversations. There are many interesting psychological facts about quiet people that can help us better understand them and appreciate their perspectives. Here are 6 of them. 1. Quiet people often have more complex inner lives than those perceived as extroverts. They may be more in tune with their thoughts, feelings, and emotions and less likely to speak out when they're feeling overwhelmed or uncomfortable. This makes them great listeners who can pick up on the subtleties of conversations that others miss. 2. Quiet people think before they act or speak, which can lead to deep insights into topics they find important. They take the time to contemplate ideas, weigh all sides of issues, and make thoughtful decisions rather than acting impulsively in the moment. 3. Quiet people tend to be highly independent and self-reliant, meaning they often go after their goals with little or no external direction or motivation. This can be a great advantage in many situations, as it allows them to stay focused on the task at hand even when others around them are easily distracted. 4. Quiet people are often very observant and perceptive of the world around them, which helps them pick up on details that others may miss. This makes them excellent problem solvers who can quickly identify the root cause of an issue and develop creative solutions to address it. 5. Quiet people tend to have a deep appreciation for simple pleasures such as spending time in nature or working on a project with their hands. This can give them an outlet for stress and energy that may be difficult to express in more social contexts. 6. Quiet people often have very healthy relationships with themselves and are comfortable with who they are as individuals. This gives them the confidence to stand up for themselves when necessary, even if it means standing out from the crowd or going against the grain of popular opinion. 7. Quiet people tend to think before they act, making sure they understand the consequences of any decisions they make before committing to them. They also take time to consider all sides of an issue before forming an opinion, which makes them great mediators when disagreements arise between others. 8. Quiet people can often be seen as passive, but that doesn't mean they don't have strong opinions. They simply choose to express their opinions in a way that is thoughtful and reflective rather than loud and aggressive. This can make them seem more patient and tolerant of other people's ideas even if they disagree with them. 9. Quiet people tend to have an eye for detail, noticing things in the environment that others may miss due to its subtlety or complexity. This skill allows them to pick up on nuances in conversations which can help build trust between a group of people, leading to more meaningful connections. 10. Quiet people often find it easier to connect with animals than with humans because animals don't expect anything from them and don't judge. This can also help with calming anxiety and boosting self-confidence, as animals usually respond positively to kind gestures from quiet people. 11. Quiet people are often drawn to activities that require focus and intensity, such as reading or playing music, because they allow these individuals the opportunity to express themselves without having to interact directly with other people. 12. Being a good listener is one of the best traits of a quiet person. While some may consider this boring, it's actually an important part of a relationship as it helps build trust and understanding between two people. It also allows the quiet individual to fully take in what is being said and come up with thoughtful responses instead of just blurting out random thoughts. 13. Quiet people tend to be more creative than their louder counterparts as they spend more time in contemplation and solitude. This allows them the opportunity to explore new ideas and come up with unique solutions to difficult problems. 14. Although quiet individuals can sometimes feel isolated, this doesn't mean that they lack social skills or are unable to make friends. In fact, shyness is often mistaken for aloofness when it's actually the opposite. A quiet person may just need a little extra time and patience before they warm up to someone new. 15. Regardless of how introverted they may be, quiet people have an enormous capacity for compassion and understanding of others' feelings and experiences. Many famous writers, artists, and activists were introverts who used their isolation to focus on creating something beautiful or meaningful. 16. Quiet people are often more sensitive than their louder counterparts. They may be particularly gifted in areas such as art, music, and writing because of this heightened sensitivity. This means that their creative works may be more deeply felt since it comes from a place of understanding and empathy. 17. Despite being labeled shy or introverted, many quiet individuals are actually quite assertive when it comes to standing up for what they believe in. They tend to take the time to research an issue before speaking out on it, ensuring that they have all the evidence they need to make a well-informed argument. 18. Quiet people are also often great listeners, as they tend to be more comfortable in one-on-one conversations rather than large group settings. This means that their friends and family can rely on them for honest advice when needed and know that the advice comes from an unbiased perspective. 19. Rather than seeing silence as a lack of communication, quiet people may actually appreciate the peace and stillness of it. This can help with processing thoughts, ideas, and emotions more deeply than would be possible with another person present. They may also find that being alone allows them to explore new possibilities without feeling inhibited or judged by others. 20. Quiet people are not necessarily antisocial or introverted. Rather, these individuals often possess an outgoing and sociable personality. They may be the life of the party when among close friends, but they tend to limit their social interactions with those outside of their group. As such, quiet people are often highly selective in whom they choose to share their thoughts and feelings with. This can protect them from feeling overwhelmed by too many demands at once. 21. Quiet people usually think before speaking. This allows them to make well-thought-out decisions that are based on logic instead of emotion. This thoughtful approach can also help them navigate more complicated conversations without getting lost or flustered. 22. Quiet people have a deep appreciation for meaningful connections and relationships, which allows them to develop strong, resilient bonds with those whom they trust and feel comfortable around. 23. Quiet people tend to be highly observant and analytical. This gives them an advantage in problem solving as they can spot potential solutions faster than those who are more reactionary or impulsive. 24. Despite their introverted nature, quiet people have the ability to be great communicators because they listen carefully before speaking and take time to think through what they want to say. Their words are usually well thought out and meaningful. 25. Although some may view quiet people as loners, this is not always the case. These individuals often just need a bit more time alone in order to recharge and process all that's going on around them. 26. Contrary to popular belief, quiet people are often just as social as their louder counterparts. They simply prefer lower-key settings with close friends or family members rather than big parties or group events. 27. Rather than speaking out of turn and blurting out opinions in order to be heard over the crowd, quiet people usually take a more subtle approach by making thoughtful comments that draw attention while still remaining tactful and respectful of other points of view. 28. Quiet people tend to have highly developed emotional intelligence. They are extremely aware of how their actions and words may impact others and will go out of their way to make sure no one is hurt in the process. 29. Quiet people tend to be more highly sensitive than the average person and can feel overwhelmed by too much sensory